Assalamu alaikum, children. Today we are going to learn the wonderful meanings of Surah Al-Kaafiroon. Al-Kaafiroon are those people who do not believe in Allah or Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And do you know why this surah was called Al-Kaafiroon? Because it was revealed about them. How, you might ask? Well, let me tell you. One day, the disbelievers from the tribe of Quraysh came to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam while he was in Mecca and asked him to stop telling people about Islam. Of course, this was something Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam could not do, because this was his job as a messenger of Allah. So Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam kindly refused them. So then they told Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that if he worships their idols for one day, then they would worship Allah for one day. Once again, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam refused. So then they told Prophet Muhammad that if he worships their idols for a month, then they would worship Allah for a month. But once again, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said no, because this is not allowed in Islam. So finally, they told Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam that if he worships their idols for a year, then they would worship Allah for a year. This sounded like a great offer. But once again, this is not allowed in Al-Islam. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam kindly rejected. Do you know why, children? Because we were created to worship Allah all by Himself and never ever worship anything other than Him. This is the worst sin we can do, because it was Allah who created us, so we must only worship Him. So after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said no for the final time, the people of Quraysh were confused. They were wondering, how could Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam refuse such a great offer? So Allah revealed Surah Al-Kaafiroon. So now that we know why Surah Al-Kaafiroon was revealed, let's learn its amazing meanings. Ayah 1. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ, which means, say, O disbelievers. In this first ayah, Allah told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to stand up and speak to those people of Quraysh. And this shows you how brave Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was, that he was willing to do this all by himself. Ayah 2. لا أعبد ما تعبدون, which means, I do not worship what you worship. Meaning, as Muslims, we do not worship the many different idols and things that other people worship, because we only worship Allah. And because the disbelievers worship so many different things, Allah told us to say to them, وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ, which means, and you do not worship what I worship. Meaning, the disbelievers do not worship Allah, even though some may think they do. Then Allah tells us to say to them, وَلَا أَنَا عَابِدٌ مَا عَبَدْتُمْ, which means, and I do not worship what you worship. This is to remind the disbelievers that as Muslims, we do not worship anything other than Allah, and we will never worship anything other than Allah. And in the next ayah, we remind them, وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ ما أعبد, which means, and you, disbelievers, do not worship what I worship. Meaning, as long as you worship idols and all of those different things, you will never truly be worshipping Allah, as Allah does not accept this because He does not have any partners. And finally, Allah tells us to say to the disbelievers, لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينٍ, which means, for you is your religion and for me is my religion. Meaning, as Muslims, we have our own religion, which is Islam, and the disbelievers have their own religion. This ayah also teaches us that everyone has a choice to choose their religion and way. And if people do not want to become Muslim, then we are not allowed to be pushy or try to force them to accept Islam. Now let's recite Surah Kaafiroon together. قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد لكم دينكم ولي دين. I hope you enjoyed learning the important lessons from Surah Al-Kafirun. Until the next surah, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.